The BJP pits the TMC chief's former aide Subhendu Adhikari to contest from the Nandigram seat against Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. Ahead of the Bengal polls, former Trinamool MP Dinesh Trivedi joins the BJP, says people of Bengal are ready for real change. The TMC says the BJP can't win an election with rejected Trinamool leaders. Surge in COVID cases continues in Maharashtra and Delhi. Meanwhile, the centre rushes high-level teams to Maharashtra and Punjab. As cases rise, 8 states are told to increase testing, contact tracing and accelerate vaccination for priority groups in the worst-hit districts. And a day after a 3-year-old child dies outside a UP hospital's gates after she was discharged without her stitches stitched up for not clearing dues, the National Child Rights Body steps in to probe the matter. Hello and welcome. The top story today, 24 hours after Mamata Banerjee announced her list of candidates, the BJP has declared names for 57 seats in the first and second phase of elections in Bengal and set up what is easily going to be the blockbuster fight in the state. Mamata Banerjee against her former aide Subhendu Adhikari. And fanning the flames is the Prime Minister himself, who will hold his first major election rally in the state of Kolkata on Sunday. Mamata Banerjee will also be joining in the battle from Siliguri in North Bengal, from where she will launch an attack on what is hurting people the most today: the price of petrol, diesel and cooking gas.
Mamata Banerjee versus Subhendu Adhikari, the blockbuster battle in Nandigram for the Bengal Assembly. From trusted aide to turncoat to electoral opponent, Subhendu Adhikari is fighting to save his political prestige. Mamata Banerjee has picked up the gauntlet he had thrown, declaring she would fight not from 2 seats as announced earlier, but only one, Nandigram. The BJP list of 57 was announced in Delhi. Before that, Dinesh Trivedi, who had quit as TMC MP in dramatic fashion, joined the BJP.
बंगाल की जनता एक असली जनता के परिवर्तन के लिए तैयार है. पहले जो परिवर्तन हुआ था, वो सत्ता का परिवर्तन हुआ था.
The Trinamool dismisses these developments as rejects looking for alternate options. They say the BJP is struggling to find 294 candidates in Bengal, and so looking at disgruntled elements or those who haven't got tickets from the TMC.
For all those who say there's no democracy in Bengal, nothing is allowed, how come all these rallies are happening? We've announced a list for all the seats, bar 3 in the hills. And the reason they cannot announce this, because when they announce, then Khala hobe, then the match will start. I'll tell you why. Because there's a BJP old, there's a BJP new, and there's a Trinamool C team, which is now the BJP C team.
The BJP is leaving no stone unturned to ensure that the Prime Minister's rally is a major success. The Prime Minister will address voters here in Bengal from the Brigade Parade grounds, and the BJP says that it's going to be one of the most massive rallies in West Bengal. The Trinamool, on the other hand, says that no matter what the crowd is, no matter how many times the Prime Minister comes to Bengal, the Trinamool is winning, and the BJP is now depending on rejected Trinamool leaders to fight its election battle. In Kolkata with camera person G.D. Shankar, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
And the DMK Congress deal has been finalized in Tamil Nadu. Congress leaders are now on their way to MK Stalin's residence. Let's go across to Arvind Gunasekar, who's following this story right now. Arvind, just a few hours ago, we had been reporting that there was displeasure between the Congress and the DMK over an offer of seats of 18, and talks had hit a roadblock. What's finally changed? What's the magic number that has satisfied both sides?
Yeah, Sarah, the stalemate that continued between Congress Party and DMK has finally ended, and now both the sides are meeting shortly. Few minutes from now, we can expect the Tamil Nadu Congress Committee President K.S. Alagiri, along with the Tamil Nadu Congress in charge Dinesh Gundu Rao and few other senior Tamil Nadu Congress Committee leaders will be reaching DMK Chief M.K. Stalin's residence, where they would be finalizing the deal for the forthcoming Tamil Nadu Assembly elections. And what our sources have confirmed to us, that both the sides have agreed for 25 assembly seats to Congress Party. Out of 234 seats, Congress will be contesting in 25 assembly seats, part of DMK alliance. Along with that, one Rajya Sabha seat will be given to DMK, will be given to Congress, and also one Lok Sabha seat, where the by-poll is expected on April 6th. Even that Lok Sabha seat will also be given to Congress Party. So, in the forthcoming Tamil Nadu Assembly elections, Congress will be contesting in 25 assembly seats, part of DMK alliance. Earlier, we have been reporting how both the sides were not happy with both the sides' number. In the first round of talks, DMK offered only 18 seats to Congress Party, whereas Congress asked for over 40 plus. And again, even in the second round of talks, both the sides could not come to a middle ground. But here, what we are learning is that senior Congress leaders directly got in touch with DMK leadership, and both the sides had several rounds of communication late today evening. Post that, a final number has been arrived at. 25 assembly seats will be given to Congress Party, plus one Rajya Sabha seat and one Lok Sabha seat. Sarah?
Arvind Gunasekar reporting. Thanks for these updates. Meanwhile, we're just a few weeks away for elections in Kerala. Charges are being raised against the BJP-led centre of using probe agencies for electoral gains, a charge that the BJP is calling childish. Here's the report.
Just weeks ahead of the Kerala Assembly elections, the ruling CPM has launched protests outside customs offices in Thiruvananthapuram, Kozhikode and Kochi. They are accusing the BJP-led centre of using probe agencies for electoral gains.
The central government is determined to sabotage the elections. That is why that they have engaged these investigating agencies. And the investigation agencies are planting landmines here and there to sabotage this election.
This a day after Assembly Speaker Sri Ramakrishnan was issued a summon notice by the Customs Department to appear on March 12th in a case regarding the smuggling of foreign currencies. A case that, according to customs sources, emerged as they probed smuggling of gold through diplomatic channels in June 2020. Customs Commissioner Sumit Kumar has called these protests an attempt at intimidation. On Friday, the Customs Commissioner told the court, accused Swapna has stated that foreign currency was smuggled at the instance of Chief Minister, Speaker with the help of the consulate. The opposition demanding Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan's resignation.
So CPM cannot wash off their hands. CPM cannot play victimhood. CPM cannot say that the central government is harassing them. So Chief Minister don't require to mislead the people.
The Chief Minister has no authority to continue in the office. He has to step down.
As elections near, the central probe agencies and the investigations have become the fulcrum of the political campaigns of the ruling left as well as the opposition in Kerala. With camera person S.V. Babu, Sneha Koshi for NDTV.
And now the Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has hit out at the opposition and the central probe agencies. Listen in.
നിങ്ങളുടെ ഉദ്ദേശമൊന്നും ഇവിടെ ഫലിക്കാൻ പോകുന്നില്ല എന്നത് നിങ്ങൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കണം. അത് നിങ്ങൾ കാണുന്ന ഭരണകർത്താക്കളല്ല കേരളത്തിലെ ഭരണകർത്താക്കൾ. ഈ അന്വേഷണ ഏജൻസിയിലെ വഴിവിട്ട് പ്രവർത്തിക്കുന്ന അത്തരം ആൾക്കാരോടും ഞങ്ങൾക്കൊന്നേ പറയാനുള്ളൂ. നെഞ്ചു വിരിച്ച് ഞങ്ങളത് പറയും. ആരുടെ മുന്നിലും തലകുനിക്കാതെ ഞങ്ങളത് പറയും. നിങ്ങൾ ഏതെല്ലാം തരത്തിലുള്ള കുതന്ത്രങ്ങൾ പയറ്റിയാലും ഈ നാട് ഞങ്ങളെ കുറ്റപ്പെടുത്തില്ല. കാരണം ഞങ്ങളുടെ ജീവിതം അവരുടെ മുന്നിൽ തുറന്ന പുസ്തകമാണ്. അത് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് വഴിയേ മനസ്സിലാകും എന്ന് മാത്രമേ എനിക്ക് ഈ ഘട്ടത്തിൽ പറയാനുള്ളൂ.
And Delhi has registered over 300 COVID-19 cases in 24 hours for the second consecutive day. 321 new cases have been reported in the capital. The rate of infections stands at 0.6%, the highest in 2 months. The recovery rate has dipped to 98.01%. And Maharashtra has also reported over 10,000 cases for the second consecutive day. 10,187 cases to be precise have been recorded. There have been 47 deaths due to COVID-19 in the state in the last 24 hours. Mumbai has reported 1,188 new cases and 5 deaths in the last 24 hours. And Friday has been the first time since the 17th of October that the single-day case count in the state has crossed the 10,000 mark. And in the wake of this spurt in COVID cases in certain states, the centre is rushing high-level public health teams to Maharashtra and to Punjab to assist in COVID-19 control and containment measures. 8 states and union territories exhibiting a surge in COVID cases have been urged to increase testing, to increase contact tracing. These states have been asked to increase their pace of vaccinations. Across India, over 11.5 lakh vaccine doses were administered on Saturday. And farmers camping at Delhi's borders reached a significant milestone on Saturday when they completed 100 days since they first launched their protest against the centre and its new agriculture laws. And they marked the day with thousands of farmers blocking the eastern and western peripheral expressway for 5 hours.
80-year-old Jasbir Kaur, a potato farmer from Ludhiana, participated in the highway blockade with hundreds of women farmers, even though the crops in her fields back home are waiting to be harvested.
ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਧੱਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਤਾਂ ਪਰਾਲੀ ਤੇ ਵੇਲ ਹੈ, ਧੱਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡੀ ਬਿਜਲੀ ਮਹਿੰਗੀ ਹੈ, ਧੱਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਬਿੱਲ ਥੋਪੇ ਨੇ, ਕਿਹਾ ਤੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਜੱਟਾਂ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਿੱਲ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਦੇ, ਅਸੀਂ ਤੇਰਾ ਉਹ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਸਾਡਾ ਉਹੀ ਮਾਫ ਕਰ ਦੇਵੇ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਸੇ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ
Savinder Kaur, a wheat farmer from Punjab, hasn't seen her family in a month, but she vows there will be no returning till the farm laws are taken back.
सभी एक दो सब संभाल रहे हैं एक दूसरे के साथ मिलकर बढ़िया मैनेज कर रहे हैं जो कि साडी मजबूरी है जो कानून साडे सर थोपे गए हैं इसको वापस ले लें.
Even as the protesters seamlessly make way for emergency vehicles, they say after 100 days of protest, they are now completely equipped and prepared for the long haul. While the farm leaders keep the farmers motivated, groups of young farmers manage the facilities at the protest site, which now resembles a small township.
यूथ का भी बहुत अब का जो एक तरह से बताया कोई जिम्मेवार अपना रोल प्ले करने चाहते हैं वो हमेशा अपने बुजुर्गों को आगे रखेंगे, उनके मार्गदर्शन में जो भी वो फैसले लेंगे हम उनके निर्वाह करने के लिए यहाँ सभी इकट्ठे हैं.
With assembly elections around the corner, the farmer union leaders are planning their next steps.
हम सिर्फ बीजेपी का विरोध करने जा रहे हैं, हम किसी पार्टी की सपोर्ट के लिए नहीं जा रहे. हम कह रहे हैं कि सिर्फ बीजेपी को वोट मत डालो और किसी भी पार्टी को जिसको आप ठीक समझते हो.
ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅੱਜ ਵਾਲਾ 5 ਘੰਟਿਆਂ ਵਾਲਾ ਇਹ ਜਾਮ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਆਖਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਊਗਾ. ਇਹ ਅਗਲੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੀ ਤਿਆਰੀ ਦੀ ਖਾਤਰ ਇੱਕ ਰਹਿਸਲੀ ਕਹ ਲੋ ਅਗਲਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੀ ਖਾਤਰ ਅਸੀਂ 9 ਤਰੀਕ ਦੇ 9 ਮਾਰਚ ਦੇ ਸੰਯੁਕਤ ਕਿਸਾਨ ਮੋਰਚੇ ਦੀ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਰੱਖੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ.
The farmers and the farm union leaders claim that today's road blockade was just another message to the government that despite 100 days have passed, the farmers are not going to budge till the time the farm laws are not repealed, and even they are devising new strategy to pressurize the government to take back the farm laws. However, will the dialogue start with the government or whether the government will think about taking the farm laws back? That is the biggest question that is yet to be answered. With camera person Sushil Rathi, I'm Akshay Dongre for NDTV.
And a day after a 3-year-old girl died outside a private Prayagraj hospital, her surgical wounds allegedly left open and unattended, all because her family could not pay the bills. The National Child Rights Body has now stepped in to probe the matter. The UP government too has ordered an inquiry into the incident after a disturbing video has started doing the rounds on several social media and messaging platforms. And the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights has now asked for factual action taken report in 24 hours. Then they've sought action against this hospital and the doctors there if their negligence has been proved. The parents are alleging that hospital authorities demanded 5 lakh rupees of them, and when they couldn't pay up, they discharged the child without even stitching up her surgical wounds. The hospital has denied this. The father of the girl who died has now filed an FIR against a doctor at this private hospital where his now deceased daughter, just 3 years old, was treated for 15 days.
बच्ची 3 तारीख को सुबह हमारे यहाँ से रेफर हुई थी हायर सेंटर के लिए, और दूसरी जो घटना जो आप पेट खोले का वीडियो आ रहा है वो 5 तारीख का है। 48 घंटे से ज़्यादा का समय बच्ची के साथ क्या हुआ इसका कोई भी आकलन अनुमान लगाना, चूँकि मेरे पास नॉलेज नहीं है तो मैं इसका स्पेकुलेशन भी नहीं करूँगा कि इन 48 घंटों में क्या हुआ। अखबारों में आ चुका है, सारे ग्राम प्रधानों को मालूम है, विज्ञापन पेपर में दिया जा चुका है कि BPL कार्ड धारक और गरीब मरीजों का हमारे यहाँ टोटली फ्री ट्रीटमेंट चल रहा है।
An actor, Taapsee Pannu, who faced income tax raids this week, on Saturday opened up about 3 days of an intense search that took place at her property. Keys to an alleged Paris bungalow, a receipt of 5 crores in a memory of a 2013 raid. These are what the IT department primarily found during its raid on properties linked to Taapsee Pannu. The actor said in 3 tweets, and she ended the last of her tweets with a postscript saying, "Not so susty anymore." Her posts come 3 days after Wednesday's raids over the alleged tax invasion. Filmmaker Anurag Kashyap too was raided by the IT department. Both were reportedly questioned by officials in Pune. Mr. Kashyap later tweeted that they had resumed work, and his post included a picture that captured a leisurely moment with Ms. Pannu during a shooting session where they're both holding up a victory sign. And in what could be a game changer in the national capital, Delhi will soon have its own school education board like other states. The Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal announced that the state government has approved the formation of a Delhi Board of School Education, where 20 to 25 government schools will now be made part of this new state education board in the coming academic year, and the CBSE affiliation will be scrapped. Welcome back now. Big city news. The Ease of Living Index report released by the Centre's Urban Development Ministry aims to measure the well-being of citizens in 111 Indian cities. 49 indicators of quality of life, economic ability, sustainability were measured. And Maya Sharma now reports from the city that came out right at the top, Bengaluru.
The Indian city, with a population of over 1 million, judged the most livable. And while there is no debate on the weather, the fertile earth, medical facilities, education and job options, there is another face of the city.
Well, my first reaction was to chuckle a bit, because I think as Bangaloreans and as most cynical citizens, we tend to underplay and be self-effacing about what good our city is. But on second thoughts, when I actually went through the report and understanding that the ease of living as against the municipal performance index were two different things. The ease of living was really dependent on a couple of very simple things, which was the quality of life, economic ability, and also sustainability. It makes it much more understandable as to why Bangalore would score so high. Look at the city itself in terms of its beauty, its weather, its accessibility to education, its its mastery or its preeminence when it comes to technology. The proof of the pudding is in fact that people are still milling to Bangalore as a city.
Civic infrastructure has not kept pace with the garden city's rapid growth. Traffic snarls, garbage, and polluted lakes do give rise to some cynicism over the ranking. But the criteria considered for the ranking are the reasons why the city made the cut. The authorities are giving themselves a pat on the back.
Bangalore is an education hub. Here climate is very good. Comparatively other city and state, it is a very normal temperature. Mainly, it is a law and order is very good. It is a friendly living city.
The Ease of Living Index includes a citizen perception survey with a weightage of 30%. Many residents do feel their home city is the best bet.
It's the most livable condition we have in Bangalore, and we have a most lovable situation also over here. We have all the types of opportunities, let it be with the education or with the job, anything. It's a good condition we have over here. And the only thing is here, the traffic as well as the pollution is increasing now. When I travel to most of the states, I will love to come to Bangalore when I will step into Bangalore.
The remaining 70% weightage is made up of 13 other criteria, from health, housing, education, to green spaces and recreation.
For many Bangaloreans, the changes in the city have been for the worse, and they wonder what other cities are like if this is the one that's easiest to live in. But for others, the ranking has been a sense of pride and the hope that it will be an encouragement for things to get better. With Govind Murthy, Maya Sharma in Bengaluru for NDTV.
And NDTV is sad to report that Bhaskar Menon, acknowledged as a legend in the music business, died on the 4th of March at his home in Beverly Hills. He was 86. Mr. Menon was on the board of directors of NDTV from 2005 to 2016. As the founding chairman of EMI Music, Mr. Menon worked with some of the world's biggest names, including the Rolling Stones, Beatles and David Bowie. Several of the world's biggest publications have paid tribute to his career today, acknowledging his huge influence over careers as notable as George Harrison's and Tina Turner's. Before EMI, Mr. Menon was the CEO of Capitol Records and is credited with launching Pink Floyd's popularity in the United States with a campaign that he designed for the band's release of The Dark Side of the Moon. Mr. Menon was born in Thiruvananthapuram. He studied at Oxford. He is survived by his wife Sumitra and their 2 sons and his sister Basanta Menon.